What I'd like to ask you now is in terms of the applications, which if we take them on face value would express a need or an interest in getting support financially, what is the ratio between the number of applications you get and the number you actually accept? How many students are you guys helping?
Well, at the moment we are far above 400,000 students that we accept every year. And simply because those applications are able to be funded, those applicants, and with the budget of about 10 billion, that's what we fund every year. And this includes students that are both at TVET colleges, yes, where we give 100% bursaries, and then the rest of the students are at universities where we give a combination of loans and a combination of bursaries. In fact, at university what we do is that it becomes a loan if you don't succeed with your studies. But if you succeed, 40% of your studies, of your loan is converted into a bursary for your first year. We do the same for the second year. And the final year, if you meet graduation requirements, which means you have completed within record time, your final year becomes 100% of a bursary. So that is an incentive that we give to our students. But of course, it's true that some of the students we are not able to cover. That's why now the minister has given us money to ensure that students that have benefited or qualified for NSFAS between 2013, 14 and 15, but were not funded because NSFAS had a financial shortfall, they can now come forward and NSFAS will give them forms to complete so that debt is cleared and they are welcomed back into the system, or they go and collect their certificates, or they continue to study so that they complete. Yeah.
So is some of the rejection on account of just not having enough money rather than students not being deserving?
There are a number of reasons that makes NSFAS to reject an application. Firstly, it could be you missed the deadline. And I mean, if an application deadline is communicated early, why would you miss a deadline? It talks about discipline of students as well. Secondly, it's an attaching of sufficient documentation and information, because for us to give you a loan, we need to comply with the requirement as a financial institution. We cannot give a loan to a person whose means test results is not conducted accordingly, or we cannot prove that we have sufficiently conducted your means test or your financial ability. So we require certain information such as income statements for your family, pay slips, and all that kind of information. And where we lack that information, we may contact with the students to say resubmit, or we don't fund. Sometimes students falsify the information, forgetting that NSFAS is a state agency. We work with other state agencies to verify the information that we are given. If you falsify information, you say your parents have passed on, we discover that they're still alive, and we won't find you. But also there's academic performance as well. If you don't perform well, we don't continue to pay, because the demand for these resources it's far greater than the funds that are available. So we give you, if you are an NSFAS student, we give you at least 1 year to fail, because we understand you are coming from a very disadvantaged school. So when you get to university, you get shocked. So for that adaptation and lifestyle can come as a shock to you. So we give you at least a year, to catch up. If you don't catch up, unfortunately, we'll give the funding to the next subject.